Are you gonna like? That's not basket weaving. You're just gonna make blankets, maybe a purse.
This one's actually for wall tapestries, so it'll
Oh,
hang. But I'm
whoa.
pretty sure you can also make a blanket using it.
I mean, I think if you make like a wall tapestry and just put it on top of your body, then it's just a blanket.
And it's a blanket.
Yeah.
I'm on my way, and I won't be late, 'cause everything that's happening is in perfect time. And though we may not know just where this bus will take us, but you're not alone with your love.
Welcome to the inaugural episode 1 of the Outside Perspective Show, where we talk to Texans not in Texas. Today's first guest, number 1, is Sarah. Now you still don't talk. Now you get your introduction. Natalie, how do you know Sarah?
Okay, so Sarah has been teaching abroad for several years now, first in Myanmar during the Rohingya Muslim crisis, and now in Bangkok, in Thailand at an international school. So she's had kind of different viewpoints, and while the coronavirus developed, she's been in Bangkok and had to kind of decide whether to stay or whether to come back. So welcome, Sarah. We're so excited to have you.
Yay.
Hi.
Now you can talk.
Okay, cool.
So when did it go? So then you have a week, you create an online curriculum. What happens then? Does the whole country go on lockdown? Do you guys, do you keep people in line? What happened? What was Pandy life like?
So the schools, I think, were one of the first things to kind of shut down and say, like, all right, no kids in schools. It's just going to spread quicker. Take a lesson, America.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, right? So they shut down schools, and then they said non-essential workers, like, don't come in, so they shut down pretty much all the, like, social activity things you could do, and the only thing that was open was, like, restaurants, pharmacies, doctors' offices, things like that. But the transition with how quickly they went and, like, how efficiently the places that were open became immediately, like, sanitized. Like, grocery stores had, like, those plexiglass things up almost immediately. One of the things I had mentioned that came later on was these big, like, sanitation tubes. Once, like, that came later once things started to slowly reopen, but they had these huge sanitation tubes and things that were open. There was hand sanitizer. They also had a tracking device once things opened. You had to sign in with your phone, and you had to sign in and sign out of every store. So, like, you'd sign into the mall, you'd go to a restaurant, you sign into that restaurant, sign out. Sign into the pharmacy, sign out. Sign into the store, sign out, and then sign out of the mall.
Is that so they can, like, do, like, contact tracing in case they get...
Yeah, and so, like, ideally you'd get a text to your phone number if you were in an area that a person who'd been, like, diagnosed with COVID, you'd get information about that. But
was that like a government app? Google? iPhone?
I guess it was just like an app. Like the first few weeks it only came up in Thai, so I was just, like, pushing buttons and I was like, I'm here, and like, let me in. And then they finally had a translation to English, and it asked you to, like, sign in, and then, like, rate the stores that you were in. Like, are they clean? Are people wearing masks? Are people staying away?
That's wild.
It was, like, super smart, but I get why people would be against it. Like, you don't need to know where I'm at 24/7.
Right.
Smart.
So why does it matter, if there's a pandemic and, like, we're recognizing that by coming into contact with someone who has it, that's how you're going to get it too. Like, that just blows my mind at how efficient that is. But also, I can't imagine it here.
They were so fast. And also, like, from what I've heard, people were, like, semi-afraid of the government and also, like, trusted their government to do what was right, which I think, like, had a lot to do with why people followed that. And also there's more of, like, a communal mentality out there. Like, I'll do what's good for you if you do what's good for me, instead of, like, I'll just do what's good for me.
That's a weird concept.
Of, like, community?
Yeah, community. I don't know what... I'm not familiar with that. I want to ask one thing though. Can we talk about the tubes, because you talked about it a little bit when we talked originally, and it blew my mind. Tell us about the tubes.
Okay, so the first tubes that I saw were at like the really, really nice, like big touristy malls, and they were huge. Like you could probably fit like maybe 3 or 4 people this way, and then maybe like 3 or 4 people this way. Okay. But it had like little doors, and they just stayed open, and you walked in, and a ring of like sanitizer just went like shh, and then you walked in, and you were clean, clean.
Right, you were fumigated.
Yeah, pretty much. You just like felt better.
That's so weird.
Did that irritate you at all? Because I would be annoyed to have like alcohol sprayed on me.
It was almost like refreshing because it's like real hot out there. So you were just kind of like, oh, a nice alcohol mist. Like,
Just what I needed.
Yeah, exactly.
Was it in any way? Did it remind you of when you go to the optometrist? Is the optometrist the eye people?
Yes.
The eye doctor, right? If you're going to go to the eye people and and they say, put your eye here, and then you have to wait for them to spray you. Did you have like that anticipation in before? Was it like that?
Thing?
Yeah.
No, but it was kind of cute, the confusion. So people would walk in and be like, and then it would just go shh and go, oh, okay. And then they'd walk through. So I guess kind of like that, yeah.
Like yeah. And then that's so weird.
It was so cool though.
Are the tubes still there?
So I asked my friend who's still out there, and she said, no, the tubes aren't there anymore because they've got it under control. They don't need them. They probably stored it for like the next pandemic.
The next.
Like,
Send him over here.
Yeah, I know.